Hello everyone and welcome to a new video, and in today's video I'm going to teach you all that you will need to know to get from a rookie to being a grandmaster with Chun-Li in Street Fighter V. So let's get started. Chun-Li is a neutral queen. Your gameplay will be using your quick mobility, your quick pokes and your range to annoy your opponents from a distance, forcing them to overextend and then punishing them for it. In concept, it's pretty similar to something like fencing. Thankfully, Chun-Li is well equipped for the job, as she has a fantastic array of normals and a fireball to help her establish that game plan, while also having all of the game's best defensive options like a 3-frame light, an invincible reversal, and a suite of anti-airs for most jump angles. And when Chun is on the offense, she also has some of the coolest looking combos in the game. The goods with Chun doesn't also stop there, as she has the most amount of costume in the game. She have, and count them, 20 costumes to choose from, and with 10 plus colors for each one, you have a great variety in how you can have her look, so you will certainly find something that you will like. Just make sure that your menu navigation skills are on point. Now, sadly, it's not all perfect, as Chun-Li does have some issues with chasing enemies around the screen, so opponents who can outrange you or run away from you constantly will give her issue. And while her anti-airs are also very strong, characters who can change their jump arc or jump timing will give her problems, because she doesn't only have to choose the correct anti-air for the situation, she also has to time it correctly. Because of Chun-Li's natural playstyle, what we just described as poke and punish, we will mostly be relying on our normal attacks as pokes, so the forward medium punch, heavy kicks, all of that, and our special moves, the bird kick, the lifting legs, and all of that will mostly be used as combo fillers or combo attacks. So to start, let's start with her light attacks, and we are going to start with the crouching light kick. Crouching light kick is a 3-frame attack. That is the fastest move in the game, or the fastest normal in the game, and it hits low, which is very good, because if your opponent is not blocking low, they will get hit by this. It's also very good if they're trying to walk back, and one of the best things about this attack is that it combos into itself, so you can do quick to light attacks. It is also special cancelable to the lightning legs special, so you can do 2 of them to light kick legs, to medium. It doesn't combo to heavy. If you did the heavy attacks, this will not combo, but it combos to the EX, which is excellent. If you have down charge, you can also link to crouching light punch and then to spinning bird kick. So this is all really good stuff. One great thing about this is it can also be used as a tick grab, so you can use it and then grab your opponent, so this is pretty strong. Also, one really good thing about it is because it's a 3-frame attack, you can use it to interrupt your opponent. So if we set Ken here to do a block string like that one, this is our best interruption if we wanted to interrupt him. And since it combos to lightning legs, you can get stuff like that if you wanted to interrupt. So crouching light kick is very good for pressure, it's good for combos, and it's good for interruption. Now, the second normal we will talk about is the crouching light punch. This is probably her most important normals when you are close to your opponent, because this attack is the first attack in her bread and butter combo. In your basic Chun-Li combo, the crouching light punch is the start. So this makes it very important when you are trying to attack your opponent. So you can always do stuff like that. This is her basic combo, and the start is a crouching light punch. If your opponent try to, again, you can also throw them after it. So this is very good, because this attack is also plus on block. If your opponent try to interrupt, they can get hit because it frame traps to the standing medium punch. So if Ken try to mash jab here, we will be able to hit him before he hits us. We get the counter hit and we get the combo. It also can be used to frame trap into itself. So, and you get stuff like that. If it happens to counter hit, you get a combo to the crouching medium kick. And then you can special cancel that to spinning bird kick or whatever. So crouching jab is very good for pressure. It's your combo starter. It is a move that you're going to be used the most when you are point blank in your opponent's face. Now next up we will talk about her standing light kick. Standing light kick is a very important normal for Chun-Li because this is your far range anti-air. When your opponent is jumping in on you, this is from far range. Make sure that from far range, because up close this can happen. But from far range, this is your best anti-air option. You see your opponent jump and you press your standing light kick. Your opponent jump, you press your standing light kick. This is a pretty reliable anti-air, but it can lose from some angles. So make sure you are careful with this and make sure that you are using this from the correct distance. Now, the final normal Chun-Li have is the standing light punch. And standing light punch have a very specific use. It is mostly, the thing about standing light punch is it have a little bit more range than the crouching light punch. So standing is longer than crouching. And the reason that we will use this is because it has more range. So this is a bit short, this have more range, and if it happens to hit counter hit, you get a crouching medium kick. So you use it for pressure when you're a little bit further away, and you can use it to combo into stuff like that. You use it as a bait, basically, go for the sequence. If you see it hit, you cancel to heavy kick legs or EX legs or whatever, and you get a knockdown. So if you're a little bit further out, standing light punch has more range than the crouching and still counter hit combos to the crouching medium kick, so you can get a conversion. If you are point blank, one thing that you have to know about the standing light punch is that it doesn't leave you in throw range, so you can throw your opponent right after it. But this can be used to our advantage because you can use it as a throw bait and punish your opponent when they whiff the grab and go for combos like that. So while you can't really throw after it, it can be used to throw bait your opponent. So now we are going to talk about Chun-Li medium attacks, and most of her medium attacks are pretty good, and we are going to start with the standing medium punch. One important thing to note with Chun-Li is to do her standing medium punch, you have to press the medium punch without any other extra directions. If you do back plus medium punch or forward plus medium punch, you will get this attack. But what I'm going to start addressing now is the standing medium punch, which is done by just pressing the medium. This attack is crucial because it is part of her basic bread and butter combo. You do crouching light punch into standing medium punch. This is a combo. This will frame trap your opponents. This also combos to the crouching medium kick, and we will get to that later. But this attack is pretty important because this is the second hit of her bread and butter combo and frame trap sequence. So this attack is really good for that. So when you hit someone or when you are pressuring someone with Chun-Li, you can do this sequence, combo to the crouching medium kick to legs. You can combo to the V-skill. You can combo the standing medium punch to V-skill, and this will combo. So you can do crouching light punch, standing medium punch to V-skill, and this is a combo. Now, one thing that you have to be aware of is that this only works on standing opponents. So if you do this, if you're not very up close, if you're a little bit further away, this might happen. So unless you are extremely point blank, I would recommend just going with the crouching medium kick after it into a heavy kick legs or into the spinning bird kick. I have done a tutorial last week on how to how to practice this combo, and I will be leaving that in the description below, so please check it out if you want instructions on how to get this combo in particular. But let's keep going. So standing medium punch is very good for pressure. It's also one of your key meaty attacks. Meaty is when you knock your opponent down and you want to hit them as they are getting up. So you can do something like this, and this will hit them when they are trying to stand up. I will also be leaving an OK section at the end of the video, so please check it out. But this is good for that. This is one of your key OKs attacks. On counter hit, you can get it to combo to the crouching heavy punch, and the crouching heavy punch moves Chun-Li forward, so you can always get this. This is something even for max range, you are guaranteed to get this. So on counter hit, standing medium punch is very strong. You can also get it to frame trap into itself. So if we had Gil here block everything, as you can see, you can do it twice, and if you try to interrupt, you will counter hit him. And one beautiful thing about this is if you got it to counter hit like that, you can combo sweep, for example, and you can also combo straight into EX legs. Doesn't even have to cancel it. So this is an 11 hit combo. This will combo straight away on counter hit. You don't have to 2-in-1 it, you just see it hit and then do the EX legs. Very important attack for Chun-Li, one of her key normals, one of her key pressure sequences. I will highly recommend when you're up close versus your opponent, crouching light punch and standing medium punch. These two are your key pressure attacks. Now, after that, let's talk about the forward or back medium punch. Now, these attacks are one of Chun-Li key pokes, and the reason that this attack is excellent is because it is 7 frame startup, which is really fast actually for a poke. It have good range, as you can see, like this is excellent range, but most of the attacks like this in the game are minus say 4 or minus 2. So for example, Gil standing medium kick, if you can see, that is minus 4. But Chun-Li's is neutral, and because Chun-Li is 0 on block and it is even faster, you can kinda abuse with this and kinda spam it, honestly. Like, you can just keep doing this and you will beat most pokes in the game. So this is a very strong poke. It is excellent, and one extra really stupid good thing about this is on counter hit, you can also link it to EX legs. So as you can see, this is a combo. If you're sharp enough, you can even get super and get that from a reactionary counter hit confirmed. So a poke with very strong range, a poke with excellent frame data on block and startup. Forward medium punch is one of your key pokes. This is your best poke, honestly, and standing heavy punch, but we will get to the heavy punch later. So forward medium punch, I will go and say spam this attack. This is one attack that you will want to spam with Chun-Li. Next up, we are going to talk about her crouching medium kick. And crouching medium kick is her longest range cancelable attack. This is basically, if you ever play Street Fighter, usually the crouching medium kicks, to have it be cancelable is really good. This have really good range. You know, this is your combo ender basically. This is the attacks that you do and then cancel into special. So it is very good for that. It is also a good attack to to counter hit fish for. So you can do something like standing light punch, crouching medium kick, 2 legs, whatever. It is a good. It's your best with punish tool, and it is your best fishing tool. If you are in the neutral and buffering and fishing for something, this is excellent. Obviously, I think it's pretty obvious what you're supposed to be doing with this attack, and it can also be used in frame traps with the fireball. So if we had Gil here try to block the first attack only, you can get stuff like that. Let's have him try to jab, medium kick. You can see you can frame trap with this alongside the fireball. They kinda work well together, and you can get some conversion depending on the range. As you can see, like that will combo. So Crouching medium kick can be used in frame traps if you cancel into the fireball. It is your special cancelable normal with the most range. Obviously strong if they're trying to walk back. Very good attack all around, good range, and with Chun-Li forward walk speed, it's also extra good. Now, the final medium that Chun-Li have, or not the final one, but the overhead. The overhead is the down forward plus medium kick. This is just an overhead. It's not that special in any regards. You can combo after it if you hit your opponent actually and it happened to counter hit. So that's kinda interesting. The good thing about this attack is that it is safe on block, which is not common for overheads. It is only -2, but it is so slow and you are throwable and you can get hit grounded out of the entire duration. It's very hard to catch people off guard with this on the neutral. I don't recommend using it at all almost. It is an attack that you best forget that you have, except in very specific situation with V-Trigger 1. I wouldn't be using the overhead, honestly, it's not that good. If you want to overhead your opponent, I would recommend going with the instant stomp, and we will get to that later, but like, this is a lot better than her regular overhead. Now, the last attack that she have, and this is again another pretty important one, is the crouching medium punch. Crouching medium punch is a slide. This is good because it's low profile, so you can go under fireballs. If your opponent is trying to zone you out, this is your option against that. Remember when you said that Chun-Li have hard time chasing opponents? It is because your only really strong anti-fireball tool is the slide, but this is good for V-Trigger fishing, so if you want to activate your V-Trigger, it's good because it hits low, so you can do that and then activate V-Trigger. It is good to catch them trying to walk back. It is good versus fireballs from this range, but one thing that you will have to note is this is really bad on block, so if you're up close and your opponent blocks this, you're -8, you're gonna get full combo punished. Even on hit, you're not plus. Even if you're hit like up close, you're not even plus. So use this only if you're trying to fish for V-Trigger, but don't abuse it, because if you whiff it, it have a lot of recovery, and use it mostly to go under fireballs. The final medium button that Chun-Li have is a standing medium kick, and the reasoning behind using the standing medium kick would be to go over crouching attacks like crouching medium kick for Guile, as we are seeing right here. If you have V-Trigger too, this could lead to really good damage. This is a good book, and I'll say it's decent. Not as good as the forward or back medium punch, but still a very good poke. So now we are going to start to talk about Chun-Li heavy attacks, and her heavies are all very strong. So let's first start with the star of the show, and that is the heavy punch. This attack is stuff of legends, so not only does it have gigantic range, because look at how far this is hitting from. And with Chun-Li movement speed, this is your furthest range pestering tool. You can annoy your opponent so much with this attack. It is relatively safe on block. Some characters can punish it, but for the most part, this is relatively safe on block. This is also super and V-Trigger cancelable, so you can walk back and forth, see it hit, combo to super, or you can just walk back and forth, see it hit, combo to V-Trigger, and get really strong combos. Along with the forward medium punch, this is the best poke you have. This is a little bit faster and safer, but less range. This is a little bit slower, but still relatively fast for a heavy, and have gigantic range, and the reward of hitting it can be so huge. Spam the forward medium punch or back medium punch and the heavy punch. This attack is very abusable. One thing that you have to keep in mind though is that this attack is pretty jumpable. So if your opponent is jumping, they can easily jump over you and hit you cross up, and even hit you up from the front if you miss it. So it does have a little bit of recovery, and your hurt box is kinda wide when you whiff this. So if your opponent jumps, there is a good and you whiff this attack, there is a good chance that you will get punished. So be careful of that, but it's such a very good attack. It's such an excellent attack along with the forward medium punch. And now we will talk about the second one, and that is the standing heavy kick. Standing heavy kick is unique for two main reasons. First of all, it's a high, so if your opponent is crouching, this goes straight over their head. This is mainly Chun-Li crush counter punish. So if we had your opponent here standing up, this is what you do to crush counter your opponent. You can dash up and do your bread and butter combo. You can dash up and just do crouching medium kick. So even from far range like that, you can dash up, do crouching medium kick to legs. You can dash up, even if you're really far, like something like that, you can dash up and do EX legs. So you can, from up close, you dash up into full bread and butter combo. A bit mid-range, you dash up to crouching medium kick. From very far range, you can dash up and do EX legs. So this is your basic crush counter attack. And one good thing about this attack is it is very strong versus fireballs. So if we had Gil here try to fireball zone us, you can hit him out of the startup with a fireball. So if your opponent is throwing a lot of fireballs at you, this is a very strong answer. So against fireball, standing heavy kick to crush counter the startup or slide. This is your basic anti-fireball options, and then you can dash up and get a combo. Now, after that, our next attack is the sweep. And Chun-Li have and I will say an average sweep. The sweep for Chun-Li is good because it sets up a strong jump in situation. So in itself, it doesn't have as much range. It doesn't give you a tremendous advantage, but it is good because if you happen to hit this and get a crush counter, you can get a mix-up like this one. You know, like hits and crush counter, and then jump on wake up, then maybe go for a hop and cross up. A hop and stay in the front. You know, these attacks can be hard for your opponent to deal with because you have to block standing and then block cross up. There are a ton of mix-ups like that, and the sweep enables you to get into these situations, so it is good for that, but other than that, it is not a really impressive sweep. Now, what's really impressive though is her back heavy kick. Chun-Li's back heavy kick is an ultra impressive attack. This is your close range anti-air, so if your opponent is jumping in on you from close range, this is your anti-air attack, and this is superb. Like as you can see, even if Gil is almost behind us, this can still anti-air him. The hitbox is incredible on this one. And not only the hitbox is incredible, you also get a mix-up because you can dash out. As you can see, I can stay in the front and do a combo as he's falling down, or I can dash up and switch sides and hit him from the other side. So this not only gives you an incredibly strong and incredibly consistent anti-air, this also gives you one of the best mix-ups that Chun-Li have. If you can just poke your opponent and anti-air consistently with light kick and back heavy kick, and after the jump go for the mix-up, if you can just wait, play safe, wait for them to jump, anti-air with this and go for a right-left mix-up, I can guarantee you that you will at least get to platinum easy, even with the most basic combos and zero V-trigger knowledge. This attack is crucial and you have to learn how to rely on it. Standing light kick for far range jumps, back heavy kick for near jumps. And either way you get a dash up mix up, and Chun-Li has the fastest dash in the game. So this is crucial, you have to learn how to use it. Now the other heavies that Chun-Li have, and she have a bit of multiple number of command normals, and one I want to talk about next is the forward heavy kick. Forward heavy kick is this attack. This is interesting because this is also a crush counter, but the combos that you get after it will depend on how it hits. So if you hit it really late, you will be able to get a dash up into crouching light punch like that. If you hit it early, this will not combo, but you'll have to then use light kick, so you'll get stuff like this. So if this hit close, just walk and then do crouching heavy punch. If this hit very far, you can dash up and then get a forward heavy, crouching. You basically get a bread and butter combo, right? There are multiple uses to this attack, and one of the best uses is to use it from maximum range, because if your opponent blocks this attack from maximum range, this can be made to be plus on block. So like this, if Gil blocks this maximum range, let's have him crouch here to make it easier. If Gil blocks this from maximum range, as you can see, Chun-Li is +2. +2 means that we can challenge here and our normal will beat his attack. A lot of people will try to take the return after this attack, but because it can be spaced to be plus, you can always do stuff like that. You know, get the hit, combo into V-trigger, you know, get the party started and all of that. So forward heavy kick is really good, can be spaced to be plus, which is excellent. It can also be used in meaty situations. So again, after a knockdown, you can attack your opponent and get it to crush counter. So stuff like that can be done. And get a crush counter punish. So this can be used as a meaty in some situation. You can use it in the neutral because it's a good crush counter. You can use it in the neutral if you space it right to allow yourself to be plus and follow up after it. So this is very good overall. It's one of her best attacks, I would say. It's a little bit slow, so be careful when you're using it, but if you can space it right, it is very valuable. The last two attacks you have are the crouching heavy punch and the back heavy punch. And crouching heavy punch is a combo filler. This is a combo attack, and the reason that this is a combo attack is it moves Chun-Li close. So because it moves Chun-Li close, you can always get the V-skill after it. So this will, let me show you an example. If I jump in and do back heavy punch to V-skill, this will whiff, but jumping heavy punch, crouching heavy punch to V-skill, this will always combo. If you manage to hit your opponent, let's say from here, medium punch, V-skill, this will whiff, but from the same range, heavy punch, this will combo. If your opponent is mashing in block strings and you do something like this, you can always counter it combo from the standing medium punch to the crouching heavy and get a full conversion. So this attack is mostly gonna be used for jumping combos and for counter hit confirms. If you manage to hit the counter hit from standing medium punch, or if you want to do it from a jumping combo because it moves you really close, you can also get stuff like that in the corner. Basically, this is a combo filler. In the neutral, it has very little to no uses. It is -5 on block, so it is not really that useful. You can kinda do some space traps with it, but yeah, I don't recommend using it a lot, honestly. It's not that good. What is excellent though is the back heavy punch, and this is Chun-Li final normal. I know we talked a lot about Chun-Li's normal, but this character is mostly about her normal attacks. Back heavy punch is a top tier attack, and it is by far the most criminally underused attack Chun-Li have by lower level players. So it is this back heavy punch. This is an excellent crushing attack. This attack crushes buttons because it is a heavy, it is extremely active, it results in a crush counter, as you can see. Even like, look at how far this is out poking or crushing Gil's attack in general. If you get it to crush counter, you can immediately then do super, you can do EX legs. If you're up close, you can do sweep. A little bit closer than that, I would say, something like that. This is very strong. This attack is very strong in the neutral. If you're trying to poke your opponent and you are going back and forth with the pokes, your opponent is poking you too much and you want to beat him, back heavy punch is your best friend. This attack is your best friend if your opponent keep going for pokes. You can also use it in the corner to meaty boss rises. So one cool thing about this attack is, if your opponent is in the corner, let's say Gil here is cornered, we do spinning bird kick and he will wake up with a 3 frame. So you can do something like dash up with light kick, and then back heavy punch. And regardless of how they get up in the corner, this will meet them. So I mess this up. There you get a crush counter. If he did back recovery, you also get a crush counter, so you get it regardless. And in the corner, this can be really devilish because you can get stuff like that, combo to the V-skill, and get insane reward out of that. So this attack is very good used in the corner. On block, it is still +3, So if your opponent blocked here, let's have Gil here blocking everything. So if Gil is blocking, this is still plus. This is +2, so you can get stuff like that. If your opponent is we need to have QZX next. But if your opponent is blocking, you can get even frame traps like this. So in the corner, really, this is a win-win situation. This attack is excellent use in the corner. You can use it for a ton of things. It's so superb attacks that I highly recommend that you use a lot. So now we are going to talk about Chun-Li's V-skills, and I'm going to start with V-skill 2. V-skill 2 is her classic Hazanshu. This attack, the idea is you can use it to go over throws. So if we have Ryu here try to throw us when he is getting up from the ground, you can use it to beat the throw attempt. You can use it to beat fireballs if he's trying to throw fireballs from half screen maybe. But the issue with the Hazanshu is there are better options. If you want to bait throws, you can use air legs, which is better. And as for going through fireballs, you can do it in reaction. You can do it too late. You kind of have to do it preemptive, and even then, it is not that reliable as you're seeing. And even if you do, the hitbox is not gigantic, and the reward on hit is not that great. So my advice in regards to Hazanshu, don't use it for now. Maybe in future seasons they will buff it and make it fantastic, but as of right now, take Hazanshu and throw it in the trash bin. It's useless. It is dead to me. It doesn't exist until it is buffed. That is my honest opinion on this attack. So for now, let's talk about V-skill 1 instead. V-skill 1 actually in this season is pretty decent. V-skill 1 is a command jump. So you can use it in the same way that you can use Hazanshu to go over fireballs if your opponent is doing fireballs at you. But unlike Hazanshu, if you manage to land this, you actually get a jumping combo. Like, look at the damage differential. You're taking almost the same risk. This also can't be used on reaction, just have to be used preemptively. But if you manage to do it and get a successful hit, you are getting full combos. So, like, straight off the bat, if we're talking about just jumping over fireballs, this is a lot more rewarding. But the main use for Chun-Li's V-skill is combos, because this attack is cancelable from her normals. So you can do like a forward or like crouching heavy punch to V-skill, standing medium punch to V-skill. If you press a V-skill again in the air, you do this follow-up kick. So V-skill 1 and then V-skill again. Or you can even just do regular attacks. You can do like air legs, you can do it into jumping like medium or jumping heavy. So you can get a lot here. The optimal route, I will say, is to go for the V-skill to the V-skill, because you are building a ton of V-bar in the process. So if we had the V-gauge here set to normal and we are resetting, look at how much V-gauge Chun-Li is building. You can, if I get a jumping combo or a combo with a V-skill, we built almost like a quarter of a bar, and if you manage to get a crush counter, this also will do a ton of damage. If you manage to get a crush counter combo like that, that is almost 1 bar, so that's really good. So the main reason to use the V-skill is in combos, and to use it in, if you want to like predict a jump over a fireball, it is better in, it's better than the Hazanshu in this regard. Overall, I would say it's a pretty decent V-skill now. It can be comboed into easily, which is really good, because you can build V-bar now. And it also leads to some of Chun-Li's most damaging combos. So if we had like a sample combo like that, that is really good combo while also building V-bar, and you get good Oki. So overall, V-skill 1 is a command jump. Use it if you want to go over fireball, if you have the read, have to be preemptive, or use it in combos. Now, the reason I bundled the jumping attacks with the V-skill is because the jumping attacks work really well with her V-skill 1. So let us talk about the unique or the special jumping attacks that are really important. The first one is the jumping heavy kick. This is your best jump in normal. This is if you're jumping from the front. This have very good hitbox. This have a good chance to beat a lot of anti-airs because of the downwards angle that Chun-Li is attacking from. So jumping heavy punch, if you're jumping from the front, is very strong. It is one of the best jumpings in the game, I think. The second jump is the jumping medium kick. Jumping medium kick is your cross-up jump. Sadly, this doesn't have the fantastic hitbox, so you have to be really on point with your spacing to hit it. As you can see, it's whiffing a lot, so the hitbox is not that fantastic, but it hits cross-up, and if you manage to get it to hit, you can reliably get your bread and butter combo. So use jumping medium kick for cross-up, use jumping heavy kick for straight jump-ins. Now, Chun-Li also have a couple of options that I will say are really good for air-to-airs. So for example, the jumping heavy punch. Jumping heavy punch is decent if you're jumping in, but jumping heavy kick is better. What's good about jumping heavy punch is using it in air-to-air situation. So for example, if Ryu is jumping at us like that, it is good because it have fast startup. So it is good if your opponent is jumping and you meet them in the air. It is good to use in this situation. And also because this attack kinda have ambiguous recovery, it can lead to some weird situations. So for example, let's try to set this up. Like you have Chun-Li land from the behind, so you can get a mix-up. If you get the one hit only, if you get she hits twice, but if you get only one of them to hit, you can get like a juggle state. You probably will never get this intentionally, but it is something, and you get a decent mix-up out of it versus some characters like say Zangief. I will say this is one of the most reliable anti-airs versus Zangief. So jumping heavy punch is good for air-to-airs. It's not that amazing at jumping in, but for jumping air-to-air, it is really strong. Another jumping attack is the jumping medium punch, and jumping medium punch is very strong. It puts them in a juggle state, and it is a special cancelling. So when your opponent is trying to cross you up like that, jumping back medium punch is very strong. You can do jumping back medium punch to EX air legs. You can get jumping medium punch to light air legs and get a grounded combo after that. So you get something like that to hit. Even from something like this, you can get this and then link super and this will juggle. So jumping medium punch is very good for air-to-air situation, and especially when they are trying to cross you up. So when Ryu is trying to cross up with something like this, jump back medium punch is pretty strong. Also, jumping back medium punch is one of the key attacks for Chun-Li's maximum damage combos. So when you do the V skill combos, you can do any normals here. So you can do heavy punch, you can do the V skill again, and if you do the V skill again, you can combo heavy kick legs or whatever. But what makes jumping medium punch really good to use in this situation is because you can get a stomp follow. This is the maximum damage, but it doesn't leave you in the best OK situation. So if you get a jumping combo, and I will say normally go for the bar, go try to build the V-trigger bar, because this gives you good V-trigger building and this gives you good OK. This gives you better damage if you go the medium punch route. This is the best damage. The OK isn't fantastic, but it gives you the most damage. So you will have to wait which one you want to use. Now, the other really notable jumping attacks that Chun-Li have is the stomps. When you jump, you press down plus medium kick and she does the stomps. And this is very good for multiple reasons. The first is you can use it in air combos like we just said, doing something like that. And then combo to air legs. Or you can use it in overhead situation. So for example, the round is almost coming to an end. Jump instant air storm like that can be used to end rounds. This is an overhead. You have to be point blank when you do this, but this is like a really strong round ender. So you can use it as an instant overhead to end rounds, and you can get ambiguous situations like that. So it's really good for that. As you can see, you can get a really annoying setups. And another factor where it's really strong is in stun situation. So if we had Ryu here about to be stunned, so let us save state that because I want to show you this. So when Ryu is about to be stunned, you can use the stomps to create mix-ups basically. So as Ryu is stunned, this is a cross-up, but then I landed in the front, so this is really hard to block. You can use it and then do 2 of them. You can use it and then do 1 to heavy kick. As you can see, you can do a lot of resets and a lot of combos with this. It can be pretty ambiguous. So the storms are really good for round ending, to use as an instant storm or use like an instant overhead, or if you want to use it for reset purposes, like after a stun or after a crush counter sweep. Crush counter sweep can also give you this situation, so this can be hard for your opponent to deal with. So now we'll talk about Chun-li's V-Trigger 1. Chun-li's V-Trigger 1 is a 2-bar V-Trigger that does quite a lot actually. So it being 2-bar V-Trigger is pretty good, that in itself is really strong. It lasts about 12 seconds, I believe, 12 real-time seconds, which is not very long, but you know, there has to be a downside somewhere. So what does her V-Trigger 1 does? So the first thing that the V-Trigger 1 does is it allows her more frame advantage on hit, so she get new combos. Basically, even without counter hit, you can do crouching light punch to crouching medium kick. That now is a combo. You will notice that the mediums are 2 hits. Each medium attack will be 2 hits and each heavy will be 3 hits. This is very good versus opponents who like to use armor, because this will allow you to break their armor. So against opponents like Abigail, this is excellent because all of your attacks now are going to be multiple hits, so you can easily break through their armor. So not only does it give you armor breaking potential, it also, like I said, gives Chun-Li new combos. So something like the crouching light punch to crouching medium kick is now combo. Standing light punch to crouching medium kick is also combo. And this gives Chun-Li a really cool new thing. So for example, previously you couldn't combo that, but with V-Trigger 1 you can now get this and get like spinning bird kick after it. So this is very strong. You can also do something like crouching light kick, crouching light punch into the crouching medium kick, and then cancel that into EX legs. You can get standing medium punch to crouching heavy punch, and this now is a combo regularly. So you can get jumping combos like that, and then cancel that to the V skill. You get new juggles in the air. You get a lot of new and improved combos, and I will be discussing the combos in the combos section at the end. So just out of the gate, V-Trigger 1 gives you a lot of new combos and a lot of new links. One important thing that you have to know about this is that it also makes her able to combo from the overhead. So generally Chun-Li can, if you do the overhead, you can't link anything after it, nothing is a 2-hit combo. In V-Trigger 1, as you can see, this is now a 2-hit combo. So you can do the overhead to the crouching jab, and this will link, and then you can link this to the crouching medium kick, and you get a really cool combo from an overhead, which is excellent. So now you have a low that can lead to combo, and you have an overhead that can lead to combo. So all of that is very good. Not only that, it also gives Chun-Li other benefits. So for example, if we went far away and did our fireball, it will stop at about the half screen range. In V-Trigger, the fireball goes full screen. So this is also really good, because now you can do the fireball and chase after it from full screen with no problems. Another benefit of this V-Trigger is that it also allows her back heavy punch to counter projectiles. So if Ed is doing fireballs, you can do the back heavy punch, and this will trade with projectiles and remove them. And because it's also special cancelable, you can do something like that. You can remove his fireball and then throw your own, and get a juggle after it or whatever. So back heavy punch is also now really good versus fireball. And one added extra benefit is the back heavy kick anti-air. So regularly before, if you do the back heavy kick, they return to the ground and you get a 50-50 mix up, whether you cross up or not, or go for a grab. you know how it goes. But in V-Trigger 1, you put them in a juggle state. So now you get like almost 300 damage guaranteed from an anti-air, which is superb. This is excellent. So not only that, you also get improved crush counter combos. Typically, if you get a crush counter from the heavy kick, you dash up and do your bread and butter combo. In V-Trigger 1, this will put them in a juggle state, and mid-screen you can get stuff like that. This is really good mid-screen. In the corner, it can be a little bit ridiculous. As you can see, you can do gigantic damage from crush counters in the corner. So V-Trigger 1 does a lot for Chun-Li. So now that we talked about what the V-Trigger does, or when it's active, let me get to how you can activate it. What is the best routes? What is the best ways to get into this V-Trigger state? On hit, the best way I will say is either standing heavy punch. So if you can walk back and forth as a neutral, do standing heavy punch, see it hit, combo into EX legs. If you're a little bit more advanced, I would recommend just comboing straight into light kick, spinning bird kick, so you can go back and forth as a neutral, see this combo, light kick, spinning bird kick, or you know, EX legs or whatever makes you comfortable. Of course, the crouching medium punch is a good activation. You can always get that from like even maximum range, and combo into EX legs. That's reliable activation. Also, fireballs are really good activation. When you do a fireball V-Trigger activate, you get a full dash up combo. So something like this, and you will dash up and get a full combo. So fireballs is really good. The standing heavy punch is really good. Forward medium punch is also really good. You can do this, get a cool activation. You can activate from legs also, so you can do something like crouching medium kick into legs, and now you get full combos. On block, legs is very good on block. So if your opponent is blocking, I wouldn't recommend this activation on block because you're too far, you don't get much out of it. Fireball to V-Trigger activate on block is good because you can dash up and still be plus. I was plus 7. I was so plus that I couldn't even throw him. So this is really strong. This will put you in a very strong situation. Also, activating from legs is excellent. You can do this, you're plus 3, you go immediately into a throw or shimmy. If we had Ed here try to do a grab, for example. I didn't get in time. I don't know if this will count or not, but the point is, okay, so you can get stuff like that, and you know, go for a shimmy or just frame trap him. You can do a lot here. Typically your opponent is not gonna mesh on the throw tech like this, but you can still get really good combos. Activating from legs puts you in a really good position on block. And on hit, if you got the hit confirmed, all of the other activations that we mentioned earlier. V-Trigger 1 is very good, especially in lower level play, because your opponent can likely jump on you, they can get hit by the overhead. It's good versus charged characters, it's good versus characters who rely a lot on armor. Overall, it's a really good V-Trigger, you can't really go wrong with it. So now we are going to talk about Chun-Li's second V-Trigger, and that is Kikosho. Kikosho is a 3 bars V-Trigger, so right off the gate it's a bit more costly than V-Trigger 1, but it does offer very unique and cool benefits. So the thing about Kikosho is it enabled Chun-Li to do this special attack, the Kikosho. And the one thing that you have to understand is when you activate the V-Trigger, you get an initial one of them, like the Kikosho, and then you get to do 3 other. So you get 4 of them, 1 in activation and 3 after this. And the thing is, when your opponent is blocking, only the initial one is plus. So for example, Kami here will challenge like we've seen. Let's turn on the attack data. Yeah. So as you can see, only the initial one is plus. If we try to do our 3 frame, we will beat out Cammy. But for the follow-up Kikoshos, they are all -2, so her normal will beat ours. So that's important to know. So what is the idea behind Kikosho? What is the benefits of Kikosho? Well, it's pretty simple really. The concept generally in fighting games and in Street Fighter, not all attacks can be cancelled into special. So for example, the heavy punch for Chun-Li, this is only cancelable to super. You can do it and then do like light kick legs. I can do it and do fireball or whatever. I can only cancel into special from select moves like crouching medium kick, for example. Crouching medium kick, I can then do it and then do it in special moves, but not for something like heavy punch. And typically speaking, most of Chun-Li's pokes are not special cancelable. So the back medium punch, we talked about this earlier in the normal section, the forward or back medium punch, the heavy punch, all of these you can do specials after. You can't cancel into special. Well, that is unless you have Kikosho, and that is the point. Now, when we have Kikosho, you can do heavy punch, Kikosho, and this is a combo now. And this is significant, because like we said earlier, typically you could only cancel the heavy punch to super, and this is really pretty strong. But you don't, if you don't have super, let's here have the critical gauge, not at all, not even necessarily that. If you don't want to cancel into super, you are not getting much out of your poke. You're just annoying your opponent, but you're not getting a lot of value. Kikosho, on the other hand, adds value to that because you can be walking back and forth, do standing heavy punch, see it hit, do EX legs, and that is 280 damage. On most characters that is like 28%. So your poke that you wasn't getting much after, now you're getting around 28% from. This in itself is fantastic because this allows Chun-Li's annoying playstyle of just poke, poke, poke to actually have combo conversions, which is very strong. This is the main concept behind Kikosho. But thankfully, the goods doesn't also stop there because Kikosho does give Chun-Li some other cool options. For example, the activation, you can use the activation to anti-air. So you can do something like that. Of course you have to space it right. So from a spacing like that, this can work, which is a damaging anti-air, so now you get a damaging anti-air out of that. You can also guard break your opponent. So for example, if we have Cammy here be blocking, if you do the Kikosho and fully charge it, this is a guard break, so your opponent will get his guard broken. You do scale combos, but this is actually really threatening. And in the corner, you can do some really cool stuff with this. One thing I like to do in the corner is do fireball and then cancel into Kikosho. So you get something like that. And now your opponent will be in a state where they have to guess. So let me show you like a really cool sequence. You can get something like this. And then cross under or go for a trap or whatever. So you can use it to go for resets. This can also have some unblockable setups done with it. So for example, you can get some stuff like this. Out of the activation, there's a very simple setup. You will do heavy kick legs and then charge. And then you get a Kikosho combo. One really cool one is out of resets, so you can get something like that. Let me show you this. And we will have here guard all. It's kinda hard to do this, I'm not sure how to get this to. Alright, so we will do this. And you can see you can get follow-ups after that. If they try to block, this will guard break. So there's a ton of setups here. It also gives you some really cool combo extensions, even regularly. Like for example, our bread and butter combos typically is doing this typically, if we cancel into the spinning bird kick or whatever, let's see. Into heavy kick legs, you are doing 200 damage. With Kikosho, oh my god. We are getting like 28%. You can get even higher if you want. If you go for an EX leg after that. you can get around like almost 300, so you can get really good damage. In the corner you can get some really cool classy combo with this. Or even just some really cool looking one like this. You know, you can get a lot of resets. You can do Kikosho, jab, cross under. You can do many things with Kikosho. But the main value, I will say, and the best part about Kikosho is being able to convert your pokes to combos. This, I will say, is the best part about Kikosho. You getting about 28% out of standing heavy punch. This is really excellent. Another thing that is important to know with Kikosho is when you're cancelling into it from normals, it can also be used to frame trap. So for example, we here have Kami doing her 3 frame. So if we do standing medium punch to Kikosho, this will interrupt her. If we do the forward medium punch, we will trade. Forward heavy punch, or standing heavy punch, you will trade. But if you do sweep, you will hit her. So there are a ton of situations here where you can frame trap your opponent with it. So all in all, it's very good because they can't know if you are doing it to frame trap or if you're doing it to, like this for example. I can do 2 forward medium kicks back to back, this and trade. So maybe they will try to take their turn because they know it will trade. So then do one, it get blocked, do another, wave punish them and cancel that into Kikosho. It's a very strong footsies tool that makes you get a lot more reward out of your pokes. So now we are going to talk about Chun-Li's special moves finally, and I will talk about the lightning legs and the bird kick at the start. And because these two attacks fill the same role, but one of them is just straight up better than the other. Typically, if you want to do your maximum damage combos or the situations that lead to the best knockdowns, you will want to use the bird kick. So if your opponent here is just blocking, any knockdown into bird kick will do more damage. That did like 140. If we do into legs, you're doing 120. The general idea is if you don't have a charge, because spinning bird kick is a charge attack. So because it's a charge attack, you may not always have the charge. So if you don't have charge down or if you're not charging, you can just do the legs. And thankfully in this season heavy kick leg knockdown. So even if you're not good with spinning bird kick combo, you can do something like that and still get decent damage. But if you do have charge, you can get this attack, do a lot more and be able to get into better situation. You just seen the corner carry and we did more damage. So you will not be using the regular like bird kicks and regular lightning legs in the neutral or in the footsies or your game plan. These are combo attacks mostly. You will be walking back and forth, see them with something, punish with legs. If you already have charge, you can do like crouching medium kick to spinning bird kick, and you can set this up. Like let me show you a scenario that we can use to our advantage. So, for example, we said that our forward heavy punch is really annoying, right? Many times your opponent will try to dash after blocking it. They want to get close to you. So you can do stuff like that. After the standing heavy punch, you just do a crouching medium kick. This will punish their dash. And because you are holding down while you're pressing, like let's look at my inputs. I am holding down as I am already charging I do the heavy punch and I'm just immediately holding down. I see them dash, do crouching medium kick to spinning bird kick. So in an application like that, this can be really good. This is just basic one-on-one footsies. You can also, if your opponent is walking back and forth and trying to escape from you or something, or you're just walking forward and you want to chase them, you can do crouching medium kick to heavy kick legs. So if you have charge, go for the spinning bird kick. If you don't, go for the legs. Most of them are just combo attacks. And the third special move she have is the air legs. Air legs is done by doing the legs motion. It is fireball forward or quarter circle forward plus kick when you are in the air. And this have 3 versions: the light, the medium, the heavy. And typically speaking, They have very specific use. Air legs is used to either go over normals or to use as a throw bait or way to bait your opponent into throws and then punishing them for it, because you can combo after this. So you can do the air legs and get a combo. So if we here have Cody try to throw on wake up, we can dash and get air legs. I want an advantageous knockdown here. You can get something like that, and this will give you good damage. One thing that you have to keep in mind is that the air legs is -2. This is fixed at -2, so if your opponent blocks it, it is their turn. You will have to block. Of course, the air legs can also be used in combos, especially with something like the V-skill one. You can do 2 stomps to, in this situation you can do 2 stomps to air legs. You can do 3 stomps to EX air legs. The EX air legs is an exclusively combo attack. Like, this is something you do in combos, but if you had your opponent jump, you will do like medium punch to EX air legs. This is exclusively for that. There is no other scenarios that you can use this from. Now, the air legs itself is a tricky move to do, because to do it and be able to combo after it, you want to do it as close to the ground as possible. So there are a couple of ways to do this. You can do a shortcut, which is quarter circle forward, up forward, then down forward and kick. And me personally, it goes something like that. If you look at my input, I did quarter circle forward, then up forward, and then down forward and the medium. Or you can do it manually and just do jump, then do the quarter circle. Personally, from the right, if I'm on the right, I do it manually. If I'm on the left, I do the shortcut. Whatever works for you, you know, this is something that you will have to try and get comfortable with. I might do a tutorial in the future on how to get this really down, but I will tell you, like, this is a preference thing. You can use a shortcut, you can use your own method, whatever works for you. Now, the EX legs and EX bird kick are not the same though. They serve very different functions. So first, let's start and talk about the EX spinning bird kick. EX spinning bird kick is like a Shoryuken attack. This is fully invincible. This is made so that it's a wake up attack basically. If you played any other fighting games, this is your wake up attack. So for example, if we had here Cody do a throw, if I try to do a normal on wake up, I get hit, right? But I can use the EX bird kick, and this will beat anything that Cody will do. So, regular attack you get hit. I block this one. If I try to do a normal attack, I will get hit. But the bird kick will beat everything. It's your DB pretty much. This is your Dragon Punch, get off me, wake up attack. Now, there is also, you can also use this for anti-airs. Because this will beat everything, you can use it to anti-air your opponent. You know, wait for it, do it late. Try to do this as late as possible. It covers both sides, so that is really good. This is a very reliable anti-air. So EX spinning bird kick is your wake up attack, it is your get off me attack, and it is your, I would say it is your last resort attack, because it combos for, it will hit both sides. It is guaranteed to beat everything. It's an excellent attack, and it's really cool to have a wake up attack in Street Fighter V or an EX DB. That's all very good. The EX legs have no invincibility though. This attack is not used to have invincibility, but this is excellent. So the thing that makes EX legs so special is that it combos from literally everything. So you can do 2 light kicks to EX leg, jab to the EX leg, crouching medium kick to EX legs. EX legs combos from anything. So that in itself is fantastic. It also moves her forward, and it's very fast. So it can be used to whiff punish. So for example, if we had here Cody whiffing his attack, you can get sometimes something like the forward medium or back medium. These are decent whiff punishes, but doesn't lead to much. But you can whiff punish with something like EX legs, because it's so fast, you can actually whiff punish with this. And another really good usage for it again is because it's only 5 frame startup. That is insanely fast. You can use it to punish attacks on block. Like for example, if Cody is doing the light ruffian from here, we can use our EX legs to be able to punish him. do it reversal timing and you're getting a punish. At 5 frame startup, there are a lot of things you can punish with this. Like even if Chu-Li did something like this, which is like a crouching medium punch to a tornado, you can block this and punish him for it. That's a punish. So EX leg is a fantastic move to throw out. It is very fast, it is safe on block, it have good range, you can use it to combo from anything, you can use it to whiff punish, you can use it to punch stuff on block, and even if you got it to hit, you get a really good knockdown. This is a really good knockdown, you get a meaty. If you have V-Trigger 2 on deck, you get an excellent combo activation, you can get something like that on it. Just like this is insane for an attack that is only 5 frame startup. It's a top tier attack. Now the final attacks that Chun-Li have is her fireballs, and her fireballs are the attacks that you are going to be using in the neutral. But Chun-Li's attack fireball is not a zoning fireball. It's not like Ryu or Ken or Guile that you would use to zone. You will use this attack to approach. You will use it and try to walk behind it. You can dash behind this, but if you dash a lot behind the fireballs, you are likely to get jumped in on. Like if you do it and then dash, your opponent might jump here and there is not much that you can do at this point. But you can use it for you can use it as a shield basically. Just a hitbox that you're putting in front of you so you can get close to your opponent. And I will also say that the EX is the best one for that. You can do the EX, dash up behind it once and then follow up. This is very good. This is your way of, controlling some space while be able to move forward. The fireballs are also very good in frame traps, because let's here have Chu-Li try to interrupt with something. As we shown in the normal section with the crouching medium kick. Why is he doing zonk? That's so weird. So let's here have Chu-Li try to do like standing light kick, for example. This is pretty good. You can use your fireballs to bait stuff like that, so if he's blocking everything, you can use it to end your block strings. For example, typically our block string is something like that, right? So you can do crouching medium kick to fireball. This will frame trap is try to interrupt. If you manage to get it to hit like we just did, you might be able to even combo after it. This is gonna depend on the range and the version, but you can get stuff like that. This was 11 hits, so this comboed. You can do it, maybe do like from the medium version. This is all really good stuff. So this will combo a lot. You can use it in meaties, do something like that, and then get a combo after it. Generally speaking, the fireballs are gonna be used for frame traps, and you are going to use it from far range to closing the distance to your opponent. Don't get too predictable with this, don't get too happy with this. You can also use it to keep up and gain some ground in the fireball war, so if your opponent is trying to zone you out like that, you can use it to neutralize a fireball if you're from far range and gain some ground. But it's not like a zoning fireball, except versus very few characters like Zangief, Abigail, and big body characters. But it's mostly going to be used to get some space and to be used in frame traps. So now I want to talk about some general tips about Chun-Li, and then talk about the CE before I leave you to Oki and combos and all of that. So there are a couple of things here and there that I didn't talk about and that I wanted to address. So one of the first thing about Chun-Li is that you actually have an air throw. So Chun-Li have a pretty cool air throw. You can use this to anti-air your opponent. So if your opponent, say like we had Chu-Li here jump at us from an angle like that, Chu-Li's gonna try to jump, and then we have him here. You can always like jump up and anti-air him. So you can use it for purposes like that. Generally it's pretty decent anti-air, and if you manage to hit your opponent anti-air, we will have Chu-Li here, hit on the ground. If you manage to hit her anti-air, or if you manage to hit them anti-air, you can do forward heavy kick, and this will meaty them as they are getting up. They cannot change their wake up timing, so this is a meaty that will always work. So after an anti-air, do forward plus heavy kick, and this is gonna hit meaty. Another attack that I didn't talk about much is the down forward heavy kick. This attack is one that honestly sometimes I forget even exists, because this is an ultra gimmicky attack. It's an automatic cross up, so it is good in that sense. But no one is gonna get hit by that. Like, it's not something that anyone is gonna get hit by. You can use it to like bait you can use it to bait throws maybe, but then again, you are switching sides, so it's kind of like an easy mode air legs. But even then, the reward on hit is not that good. I don't recommend using it a lot. Some people like to use it. I don't think it will work on high level, very much. Like, I think if you do this versus anyone who's really competent, they will murder you for it. So that's my opinion. It's not the best attack. It's really, really gimmicky. If you want to use it, sure, go ahead, but I don't recommend using it a lot. Especially because if you misjudge it and you whiff, you are wide open for them to attack you. Now, the final thing I wanted to talk about is the jumping attack and the neutral jump heavy kick. Neutral jump heavy kick, or this attack, the spreading eagle thing. This is good because this hits on both sides. So if your opponent is doing an attack that goes straight forward, you're neutral jumping because you want to bait something like Balrog dash punch, Bison scissors, all of that stuff. This is very good because if they go under you, you still hit them. If they stay in the front, you'll still hit them. So this is very, very good for these applications. You can also use it to anti-air, but it's slowed down now. So you can use it to anti-air like this. It's not the best, but this is even better if you want to neutral jump anti-air. But it's still okay. It's still a decent attack. It's still something that I think we should mention. The final thing I want to talk about before I get to the super is the throw situation. So with Chun-Li, after a throw, she used to be able to dash up and be neutral. Now, in this season, Chun-Li, after a dash, is -2, I believe. So it's Cody gonna wake up jab. So if you try to dash up after a throw, you are negative. You can't really do much at this situation. You can maybe manually time a heavy punch. You can throw maybe like a fireball after it and go for a fireball meaty. But you don't get a dash up throw, and mid-screen you are too far off to threaten another throw. So mid-screen, either throw a fireball and wake up, or you can maybe manually time a forward heavy punch. Maybe manually time a back medium punch. But I would suggest either going for the heavy punch, honestly, or just the fireball. And the fireball seemed like the safest option. In the corner, you are close enough to threaten a throw situation, because in the corner there is less pushback, so you can walk forward and meet them and get a combo. And if they decided to respect it, so let's here remove him from, stop him from doing wake up. In the corner, if they decided to respect it, you can dash up and then do another one. You can also do a fireball here as a meaty, and this will hit and counter hit. If he stopped doing that, if Cody stopped doing that now, you can maybe dash up, walk up and throw them again. So in the corner it is pretty legit, since you can threaten the walk up throw or the walk up medium punch for pressure. This is all really, really strong. The final thing I want to talk about, of course, is Chun-Li CA, the critical art. Chun-Li's critical art is fantastic. I think it's one of the best critical arts in the game. Utility-wise, damage-wise, it is kinda average or below average, but utility-wise, it is pretty strong. Because if your opponent decided to throw fireballs at you, it goes through fireballs. So from like almost 3/4 screen range, you can use this, goes through fireballs. Of course, even as late as possible, goes through fireball. It combos from everything, and you can cancel into it super late. Look at how late this cancels, how late I'm canceling this into it. And if you manage to get it to hit, you also get a really cool mix-up. If you manage to land the super, you will get into animation, and after it you do V skill and then do the air stomp. So you can do this. Let's have Cody here get up quickly. So after this you can do V skill and then do the air stomp, which is down plus medium kick, and you can get an ambiguous right left mix up straight after. So the CA is really good, and it is because it's 5-frame startup. You can also use it to, you know, punish attacks that are really quick. For example, something like Cody's Ruffian, like we said, you can punish this with a CA. So it's a really strong attack in general, one of the best CAs in the game, and at certainly utility, like for utility purposes, this is one of the best CAs in the game, hands down. You can do something like this even. See the fireball hit, cancel into CA. It's very confirmable from standing heavy punch. If you manage to land a counter hit forward or back medium punch, you can also link to CA. So it's a really cool move. And the rewards that you get after it is also pretty decent as well. So that's all that I had to say on Chun-Li. That would require some, you know, talking and just discussing. Next I will review with combos and Oki. I have done guides for multiple characters now: Cody, Poison, Mika, Akuma, and Sess. So please, if you are into any of these characters, please check the playlist below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe or share, or leave a comment. It all really helps. Thank you for watching and stay safe.